You know, the Pendulum Summit was on last week, and the main attraction was a one man called Tony Robbins, motivational speaker to the stars. The man who introduced Robbins on the stage was Owen O'Malley, who is seen as Robbins' Irish protege. Take a listen to this. One of the speakers of the event I'm after meeting is Owen O'Malley. Now, Owen O'Malley, Tony Robbins, great, I suppose, self-development man, has been speaking here, and he is an Irish protege, and his name is Owen O'Malley. He's a fisherman, he's a financier, and he's an adventurer, and he's from Donegal, and he joins me now. Owen, how are you? You're welcome to the programme.
Very best, thank you very much.
Now, Owen, maybe you might just tell me a little about you and your life first, and then we'll talk about your interaction with Tony Robbins after that.
Sure, yeah, born in London, came to when I was 12, and I ended up working in the science field, but very quickly moved into salmon farming in Donegal, and the company I was with, we got bought out, and it was like, it became just a day job, and I wanted to be in business for myself, and I came across the stock market as a concept. So I went to London to Tony Robbins' UPW, and from there led on to his Wealth Mastery program, and that led on to learning how to invest in stocks and shares.
Now, there was a story that I heard that when you went to see Tony Robbins, it was his first seminar, the cost of it was something like £20,000. And did you sell a car, or did you sell the last thing you had to go to this seminar? Tell me about that.
So in 1993, Tony Robbins came to Europe for the very first time, so I went to his event, and at that event he mentioned this thing called Life Mastery, where he was going to do emotional mastery, physical mastery, wealth mastery, etc. And so the whole program involved 20 days, 3 different programs over a total year. Now the actual figure was 10,000. And so I signed up, didn't know how I was going to pay for Bobby. But when I came home, I put my car on the market, and I got exactly 10,000 for it. So there you go.
So that was a good investment. And I suppose you better explain, who Tony Robbins is and what he means to you, Owen.
Tony Robbins is the best personal development speaker on the planet. He's been doing it for 38 years. Some of his clients, to give you an idea, that would pay him $1 million a year to coach him would be Serena Williams, Andre Agassi, Princess Diana, Bill Clinton. That's the level he plays at. And it's an absolute privilege and a dream of ours to bring him here to Ireland. I invited him 20 years ago, and now he's finally here. And he's, no joking aside, he's going to seriously basically change the consciousness of this country, because there's going to be people here, their lives will be dramatically changed. Imagine 3,200 people are going to get to spend a day with Tony Robbins. This guy's worth $6 billion, and he's just the top of his craft. He's top of his game now.
And how much of it is actual craft? How much of it is showmanship? How much of it is he's also an author? So, and again, I know some people, and you're obviously a convert, but some people are a little bit skeptical of people who say, you know, forget the rule book, you can do it this way, or everybody can be rich. We can't all be rich. We can't all be billionaires. But so you're one of the believers, and what makes you one of the believers?
Well, I went to him, and when I was with him, there was too much month at the end of the money, as they say, and I learned some strategies from him, how to identify the best companies in the world and know when to buy them and how to rent them and how to insure them. So the skill set that I learned from him allowed me to become financially free from my day job, as it were, and I've gone over the world now. We've gone to 50 countries, and we set up 1,000 investment clubs teaching people to do exactly that. And so it's funny in society, when you think about it, Bobby, the richest man, second richest man in the world right now is Warren Buffett, and he's made all his money in the stock market, yet the whole of the world runs a mile away from the stock market. So there's a serious disconnect in society. It's not rocket science. You identify the best companies in the world, you wait for them to be good value, you buy them for long-term buy and hold, and what we show you is how to rent them. And that's what Tony taught me literally 20 years ago.
When we talk about financial freedom, does financial freedom mean lots of different things to different people? What's your own definition of financial freedom?
My own definition is when the income from your assets matches your lifestyle requirements. So if you're out there and you need $5 grand a month to live on, and your assets actually pay out through dividends and other means pays you $5 grand, now you don't need to work. Your assets are paying for your income. And like you say, that frees you up to basically work your passion. You can go and do some great work, maybe do some charitable work, or just release yourself and not be stuck in the millstone of life.
When you talk about the stock market, you know, we all think about property, we think about investing in business. So if you talk about the kind of things that one can invest in, why is it that we're so disposed to property, given what's happened. Business, we've got a situation where 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. So why are they attractive to us, and why is the stock market not attractive?
People don't know, Bobby. This is incredible, because when I left the fish farm, I looked around. I wanted to be in business for myself, but I actually studied the statistics, and it's actually 96% of businesses fail after 10 years. So only 4% survive. I mean, the odds are massively against you if you're out there trying to start business. Be smart. Why don't you buy shares in the best businesses in the world? So if you buy, say, Microsoft or something like that, so the top executives in the world are working for you. You've crossed the line from you working for money where now money works for you. So, and then when it comes to property, I mean, in Tony Robbins' new book, Tony hasn't written a book for 20 years, and he's just spent 4 years interviewing 50 of the wealthiest people on the planet, top of their game right now. And in that book, he does a graph of since 1890 to today, how property has performed, how stocks have performed, currencies, and bonds. And like property is just very poor return for your effort. Stocks are through the roof compared to property.
Now, my guest is Owen O'Malley. He's a former fisherman. He's a financier. He's also an adventurer. Tell me about the adventure part, Owen.
Well, my passion is to run. So I've run some serious races. The most interesting one was in South Africa. There's a race called the Comrades. It was started by the South African Army over 80 years ago. Every year, about 18,000 people run it. The year I ran it, 12,000 ran, 2,000 failed to finish, and 2 died along the way. Wow. So it's a pretty gruesome event, but it taught me the power of the mind. It defines you when you do something like that. It's not about the body, it's about how you can use your mind to drive you to places you don't think you can normally get to.
And how important is physical fitness in terms of overall success?
Crucial. Absolutely crucial. It's a very creative space. It clears the mind. I think of my best business ideas when I'm out jogging. I typically run 5 miles a day on the beach in Donegal, where I live.
You once said that by the age of 65, 95% of people worldwide are either dead or broke. Is that an actual fact?
That's an actual fact. 95% of people at age 65 are either dead or they're broke, simply because they have not been shown the way. We are basically in society, Bobby, we are financially illiterate. And that's one thing that we can do for you, is we can basically get you financially literate.
The clubs that you've set up, again, they've been a great success. Yes. Is it a kind of a sort of a franchise network? How does it actually work from a business perspective?
From a business perspective, well, let's get back to the basic club. But what is an investment club? It's a group of people that meet once a month for an hour, and they pool their money into a club bank account that belongs to all of them and is controlled by them, and a trading account. And we provide the education. In terms of a business perspective, worldwide we operate in 50 countries. We just simply do a 50-50 profit split. So we work together, our partners in our country, and we motivate them to keep the costs low, and we just share the profits 50-50. So it's a straightforward business partnership.
Owen, just at the Pendulum Summit, you said earlier yourself 3,200 Irish people there, a complete sellout of a gig. What will Tony Robbins be saying, and why have 3,200 people come to see him?
Let me give you an interesting fact. What Frankie Sheen has done here at this Pendulum Summit by inspiring 3,000 people to be here. If you look at the stats, it's 1 in 14,000 people. That's equivalent to someone to put 230,000 people in a room in the USA, or 45,000 people in a room in the UK. So hats off to Frankie and his team for making that happen. Why should people come, and what will they learn? Tony is an absolute master at distilling decades of knowledge and experience and wisdom into a few short hours. He's the chunking expert of the world. So they will leave here after 5 hours with some incredible skill sets that he has developed over 38 years.
Okay, and what about your own plans? You've obviously attained financial freedom. Is that enough once you've achieved that, or do you strive for more?
I achieved that a long time ago, Bobby. What motivates me is helping people do the same. I taught my son when he was 6 how to do it. Now he's in university and he's financially free. He's just bought a brand new car, and his mates can't even afford a cup of coffee. What I love to do now is I love to teach people how this works. So it's no longer about me, Bobby. The fulfillment is seeing other people learn these skills. Just like Tony gave me the skills 20 years ago, we're enjoying giving those skills to other people.
Okay, well, I wish you well. You're an interesting character, and every success with Tony, every success with the investment clubs, and thanks for joining us on Down to Business. That's Owen O'Malley.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Bobby.